And thanks to all the people that attended our previous workshop where we discussed the agenda. So let's begin. We are going to have Councilman Turner will offer our invocation, and then we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to gather today to serve the citizens of Sky Valley. Please enable us to acquire and understand the information we need and its implications so we can make informed decisions. Help us hear the complete message being communicated. Help us to not get distracted by things within or outside this room. Guide us toward the best way to take action to accomplish our goals. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Bruce, for your invocation. All right. Approval of the minutes from the January 17th organizational regular council meeting. I hope you all had a chance to review these minutes. I need a motion to approve.
I did review them and motion, I offer a motion to approve.
Thank you, Bill. Second.
Second motion.
Thank you, Jim. A discussion. All right, all in favor of approving the January 17th minutes, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, signify by nay. Motion carries. Adoption of the agenda. I need a motion to adopt the council agenda as presented.
So moved. Second.
Okay. Did you get who that was?
Jim and Tim.
Yeah. Jim and Tim. All right, discussion. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, signify with nay. Motion carries. City manager report, take it away, Jason.
Later, everybody in attendance, very quick report here. A lot of the things that we've been working on, have been discussed projects. Just want to give a really quick update on the city hall renovations. The contractor is basically done. There's a couple of small items, some lights, outside lights. We're going to restrike the parking lot, handicap signs. We are looking at trying to get a security system cameras installed. Good news, True Vista finally got our phones and our internet up and going. We've ordered some desks. We've got some things we're waiting to receive. I know the newspaper said we were going to be in there May. We hope to be in there next month, March, which is tomorrow. We're very close to being there. And as far as May, what the paper said, by then all the signs will be up, everything will be nice, pretty I's dotted, T's crossed. We're planning to do a big grand opening, et cetera, et cetera. But right now we're just immersed in shipping and some things, True Vista, but that's on track. Caldwell, who's under consideration for the coal repair, while they're here, they're planning on retouching Ridgepole. As you all know, they did that. There's some final stuff needs to be done, so that should be taken care of. I do not anticipate them having to close the road, but there may be some delays. And then you received your financial report. You had a chance to look at it. As we are basically into March, our expenditures for the year should be around 16%. We're tracking around 15%. So we're doing good on the revenue side, with property tax being our biggest revenue source. We've taken in approximately 93%. So things are going pretty good, and I will stop there unless anybody has any other questions.
Comments, questions?
I got a question about the new city hall. Do we have a sign in the works that'll hang out front?
We have some very nice signs that are being made. I think people will be very pleased with these signs. In fact, we've got new signs to be created for the police department when they move in, a new identification sign. These signs are going to be those that cork type material where they're rotted out, they'll be hand painted. If you've seen the new sign as you come up Bald Mountain, where the one that got damaged when the wreck a few months ago, it's that type of material. So I think people will be very pleased when we thank Sharon for being involved in the design of that. And so, they are being made. That's not a quick process, but we do plan on getting moving in before those signs. Those signs should be ready, middle next month. We ordered those, and it's just like everybody else is working this in.
We also have signs that indicate municipal court.
Yes, the B sign that we have, Council Durham, that you see, it's gonna have the new logo, it'll say Sky Valley, City Hall, Visitor Center, Council Chambers, Municipal Court. And then we'll have wall identification, it'll have arrows pointing to the council chambers, court side, and then the side that's gonna have City Hall and Visitors Center. And so I think people will be very pleased when it's done, but we're just at that point now, it's just all the million little items that you have to get done, and we're at the mercy of vendors, but we're doing everything we can to push it forward.
Any other comments, or questions?
The taxes that have not been paid, what is this normally? A lag of 8%?
I think we're always, there's always a few that are coming in. They are due now, but by law, we have to give 30 days notice, but we're, at this point, I mean, this is fairly consistent, and there's always a few that we have to go after, but the bulk is, now granted, this numbers is probably higher. I haven't, Monica ran that report late last week. Every day we're having taxes coming in, so it might even be closer. Those numbers are late last week, so I suspect it's higher than that, but every day we do have numbers coming in, but the good news is that the lion's share, it's of the 1,011,000, we anticipate about 940 of it's already been received, so we're on track.
They take the rest out of the council salaries.
I didn't want to say that yet.
Then ain't gonna get it.
All right, any other comments, questions? All right, department reports. Jason, would you present the department heads as they offer their individual reports?
I know Gary's anxious to get his guys to work with some kind of chief. I'll let him again. I think he just wants to quickly introduce two new employees.
I'd like to welcome these two guys on, and myself, but let's see, you've been here 2 weeks. He's been here a week. Last week was having 2 more extra men was extraordinary. It made a big difference. I had 3 crews at one time, some on each side of the resort, some in the middle. It made a big difference. And this is Kevin Branca. He is from Syracuse, not New York. I think he's gonna be a good asset to the city. He's got a good work ethic. Gene is from, I don't know. I'm not sure. He's down over here off of Warborn, you know.
He's from Satota.
He's one in a million, you know. He's got CDLs as well, which is gonna help us out, and they can operate the equipment and all that. So he's gonna be an asset too, and they worked really good so far, and everybody works good together.
You have a good team. Yes.
I just want to quickly add, I know second time, but we're very fortunate that we're fully staffed in Public Works. Like everybody else, we've had turnover. Jerry's got a good crew. He does a good job working his crew. And even with everybody having staffing issues, the fact that we are fully staffed in Public Works right now, and whether that is a testament to this council and the commitment, and just wanted to say that we're very we anticipate a lot of good things that will be done.
Do we need?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for letting us be here.
I'll get you a Yankee ball cap.
There you go. Just call him Wildfire.
He's got his flowers.
Sorry, Gene.
Chief, you think you want to add very quickly, or?
Sure, just got a couple of quick things that basically just to make you aware of. We're having an uptick in a couple of issues here, and as the springtime comes, it's just going to continue, because of course we've got a lot more short-term rentals here, which means a lot more people here, which is being reflected on the police side. Is we're getting more calls for noise disturbance at night. You may be hearing this because people are being irritated with it, and we're getting calls because a lot of houses that were normally empty are now people. And we're targeting a couple of houses that are already repeat offenders, so to speak, because they've made nice outdoor areas with hot tubs and stuff like that. So now you have people out there late at night rumbling and making noise. The neighbors are getting irritated and now they're calling 911. So just something for you to think about, and maybe we want to look at some type of regulations or let our property owners know to notify people. We do have a noise and quiet time here in our city. And that's usually as far as we're carrying it at this time. The other issue is the short-term rentals. Once again, these people are arriving in our town with their golf carts, driving them on our streets, and they're not here long enough to get approval and permits and all of that. Maybe we want to consider some type of temporary one, and we can work that up. That's not a problem, but that's already starting with the warm weather and more people coming to come in, as well as the calls from, oh my God, town's on fire. We smell smoke. We see smoke. We may want to consider maybe when we use our burn pit, letting people know, maybe because people, but most of the calls we're getting are coming out of Heatherstone. I guess the smoke goes over to them. I don't know, but we have noticed a little bit more with that. More people being here is resulting in more calls. And I'd like to end on a positive note. Our officer, longtime officer, Dottie Clark, she was voted in by Clayton Tribune, as you all know, as first responder of the year. That was a big honor for Dottie and everything. The people keep asking me, what did she do? What did she do? Clayton Tribune does this every year, and it's basically they request, hey, submit the name, and she got the most names. And so she got that reward, and she was honored down at the food bank. Jason attended, helped her, they received her award and everything. We're very proud of her. And if you don't know Dottie, or if you do know Dottie, you know that this just lit her up like a Christmas tree. It just is the biggest thing you would think that she has ever received. And we're extremely proud of her, and we're happy to have her. Other than that, everything's going on.
What shift is Dottie pull?
She's night shift.
She's night shift.
Yes, 7 at night to 7 in the morning. She does fill in on day shift from time to time, but her regular shift is night.
Thank you, Chief Estes.
Yes, ma'am.
And we're proud of Dottie too.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
I think it was key.
They also have good friends.
And family.
Yeah. Jim, did you want to quickly share something? Jim Hyburn, our, yeah, I think Jim was introduced our last meeting. He has come in, he has hit the ground running. He is wide open, and I think he had a few comments that he wanted
Yeah,
to
just a
share.
couple of things. Thank you, Jason. The month of January, I issued 9 permits for everything from decks to remodeling, et cetera, plus an additional 4 for tree, for a total of 13 permits in January. For those of you that had the opportunity to read my little comments in the Sky Valley newsletter, I did a little briefing about 911 address signage. And in fact, I've already had an inquiry since I got here this morning. Me driving around, I've seen several houses or properties that have no addresses whatsoever. And I know, talking to the police chief and the fire chief, obviously that's a problem for them, but it's also a problem for me. I'm working on a project for the city clerk, and there's places that just don't have addresses out there. But the life safety issue is the biggest thing. So I need to get with Jason and perhaps the mayor and talk about sending out some notices to these people that are, I mean, this ordinance is pretty old, section 32.2, and it's just not being addressed the way that it needs to be. Send out some notices to the people to their utility billing address. I'm not sure what time frame. Again, talk to you about it. We give them to say, hey, listen, you do this. It's in the ordinance. We have the option, if they're not taking care of it, to go back, put the sign up, the address, the numbers in compliance, and then bill them for our cost.
Now the county will come out and do this.
Yeah, in fact, if you noticed, you had a chance, I put in there the county's phone number or those green signs with the white lettering,
Yeah.
but obviously they can use somebody else's.
Jim, I compliment you for addressing that issue,
Yeah.
because it is something I know that for Ken's guys and the police, if they've got a big quick response and you can't find the house.
Another thing I was talking to Jason about, and talked to the Raven County tax assessor last week. I think maybe in the interim from my predecessor and myself, some of it slipped through the cracks. We've already got several thousand square feet of new additions that need to go onto the county and city tax rolls. And I'm gonna be doing probably quarterly updates based on the permitting and what I see, because obviously some people haven't necessarily permitted, and I'm addressing that as well. So like Jason said, I hope I've hit the ground running, and I'm excited to be here, and I think these are exciting times in Sky Valley.
Here, here.
Jim, I have a question. You know, where I live over in Cobblewood.
Oh, absolutely.
The people that, we bought that from, that put a post right at Cobblewood and Evergreen. Now, we've over the years put a number and a sign going up there. As far as 911 is concerned, do I need to put one at the foot, because we're the only one up there,
Right.
and at our drive?
Well, I mean, if you look at the literal translation in my opinion of the ordinance, it says in front of the property itself, no more than 10 feet back. So based on that, I wouldn't think so, but Chief, what do you think?
But you know, I mean.
Today you're the only one that lives on Cottonwood. Tomorrow somebody will be building up above. You gotta have your address at your property. Yeah, if you want to put it down below, that's fine. Doesn't matter to us. We're going to Cobblewood, and we're gonna go up Cobblewood until we come to your address.
So I don't need that
street sign.
That post that's right at the Cobblewood sign, that can go away?
That can go away, yes, sir.
You have one in front of your house?
Okay. But like I say, 911, you know, Sky Valley sometimes can be challenging to find places. Anyhow, good.
Thank you.
Anything you want? Okay.
Thank you all, and you all know that we appreciate, I'm speaking for myself and the council, we think you're all wonderful, and you can never quit, and thank you for all you do.
Thank Joe.
I'll second.
And if you all need to hit the road, we won't think badly of you. Okay, committee reports. Gordon, I know, I saw you come in, would you please present your report on the last marketing meeting?
Well, thank you. Good morning. Just giving you a brief update since January. First talk about Doug Hollingsworth of the Golf Life Marketing. Doug had a great week in Orlando at the PGA show. He saw a lot of media people and talked about Sky Valley. During his time, Doug spoke to Fred Alphators. Remember, Fred visited us last year, and they did a podcast on Sky Valley. And I had a chance to look at it. It was really, really positive about Sky Valley, and Fred just talked graciously about Sky Valley and encouraging people to visit us, and of course, make calls. Doug continues to do social media posts each month promoting Sky Valley. I'm going to give you an example of one would be here with, and Lincoln would be just photos. He shows the golf course and so forth on it, and Lincoln. And one of the examples he says here, Georgia is always on my mind. As we turn from January to February, I'm getting closer to spring, summer visit, or fall trip to Sky Valley, Georgia, which is the highest and the coolest in Georgia. When the sun shines and the temperature rises, golf, croquet, pickleball, hiking soar to the top of popular planned participatory programs. In the meantime, check out Sky Valley's 24-hour webcam. Doug is a real big proponent. He thinks this is wonderful what we have, and encourages every one of his email blasts. Here's an example we had on Twitter. Heading for the hills when the sun shines, North Georgia, as it often does. Sky Valley Club members play croquet, golf at times, both at the same day. It goes similar to what they did at in terms of Lincoln. Lincoln, here's another one. Lincoln, their executive suite group, which has over 386,000 members. Looking for a great mountain community? In the Northeast Georgia, Sky Valley has it all. Great golf, country club membership, croquet, pickleball, and some great places to buy or build. Georgia's highest and coolest city. And then he talks about check out the webcam. Here's some of his other things. He just listed publications. You had asked at our last meeting, but you had asked about where is he advertising, and how many, where is he after it? He said, here, this is a response to Jim in the group. A list of publications, Ohio Golf Journal, Golf Central Magazine, Indiana Golf Journal, Michigan Golf Journal, Southern Golf, Southern Fairway Magazines, Georgia Golf Magazines. He's extensive in his ad. He follows up. He also is working on a new magazine in Alabama to promote, and he has a working with a real estate magazine in Florida. He's planning to have Mike May, who is a media writer, visit in May of this year, so we'll be putting that together. That's a big deal when they come in and positive things. Wanted to talk about an email blast, and I thought this was really, really good, and I wanted you to share and look at what is going on. This is an email blast. It's show you what went on. You pass it out each. You each want to look at it, just see what's going on. Sharon, I have to say, just did an excellent job. Thank you, Sharon. Update, very, very creative. This is an example of what he sends out. Sharon updated the email blast and looking at it, example, the colors really is striking. And this is going out. She has experienced the year-round beauty of Sky Valley, the best place to spend the rest of your life. New things, yeah. New things going on. We also added in here, there's some question in our last meeting, do you include, do we have swimming and tennis? How do we handle that? And we did come up with, Sharon came up with swimming and tennis, and that is offered through timeshare and clubhouse membership. We felt we wanted that. We know it's here, but not available to everyone. So it's open to everyone. So, but I think the color and what Sharon has done is, thank you, Sharon, really, really top notch.
Thank you.
This is professional stuff going out. Working on visitor website. We talked about that, Sharon. If you had a chance to look at it, Sharon, again, her creative ideas. If you had a chance to look at it, Sharon, the website, very creative, what's going on. And we think it's very, 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 very positive, very professional. Let me see. I guess anything else? Visitor website, visitor, you talked about the new visitor center, you've updated that. We're working along with the anything we can do to, of course, help.
I think, Jason, you had a comment about the possible productivity of our marketing committee from the guy who just purchased the house.
Yeah, yes, Madam Mayor, I was just going to say, as I had shared in the marketing meeting, Jim and I ran into a guy called the other day that had bought a house that he is renovating. He and his wife plan to retire here. And I just asked him about how he found out about Sky Valley. And he said they were looking in the Maggie Valley area, but just the research and finding marketing materials, they discovered Sky Valley. They did an Airbnb Verbo, came the weekend, found the home, bought a home, now doing renovations to the home. Will probably Verbo the home for a couple of years, about 2 years out of retiring, but plan to make this their forever home. So,
Yeah, thank you, Jason. Along those lines, also, we've talked about in our new visitor center, we're going to produce some sort of bag to give to our new residents. And we'll also have one for visitors that will have some sort of document in it where we can collect data on how did you find out about true data? How did you find out about Sky Valley? Why did you decide to buy here? Well, which will be we'll go with our marketing committee. And thank you for all your hard work, Gordon.
Just one final,
Okay.
again, Sharon, she's got a real look. We're working on all the photos and videos that we have tons of them and finally working on it. In this case here, Sharon is working, maybe you can update us a little bit. What's happening? Sure.
Well, we got the hard drive from Mr. Denberg with over 3,000 pictures. Jamie Dara did some work, quite a bit of work, and organized many.
I'm so happy that it's not in my house anymore.
However, there are still many, many more to do. Our plan is to put those on the Google hard drive or Google Drive so that people can have access with permission. And then they can use those photos as needed. And then hopefully if people want to send some in, we can add those to where they're needed. So just more people have access to a wide variety of areas of Sky Valley.
Yes. Thank you. Again, thank you for your efforts on that. That's great. Any other questions? We're finished.
Thank you for your hard work,
Thank you,
Gordon.
George.
And thank you, Ms. Van Camp, for all you do
Yes.
too. And you should
Jason.
never leave either.
I want to thank Jason for sharing that anecdote as
Yeah,
well. We've sort of been
yes.
looking around for the smoking gun that proves this is and can work. And so it's great to have a concrete example.
Can I add something to that?
Sure.
We have rented our home in the past as a VRBO rental, and we had some people who stayed with us twice and then wanted to come back and stay a month. And then we were about ready to have that process happen. And they said, we're canceling because we bought a house very similar to ours in Sky Valley. So I know it's bringing people in that are really interested in the area and are happy to move here.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Great. All right, let us move on to new business then. Since we had a good discussion session in our previous workshop this morning, I'm going to ask the meeting attendees to hold any questions to the following items until the public forum or general comments. Because we got a lot to do and we have a construction company out there waiting to hit it. All right. And a Kubota, well, okay. Item 8, consider approval of the resolution to amend the fiscal year 2022 general budget. We know that our budget is not static and that it is routine for it to have to be adjusted every year. Jason, just really quick salient points on what we need to do, and then we'll move on.
Madam Mayor, Council, when we finished out fiscal year 2022, we actually underspent about $68,000. However, there were some departments, obviously that underspent, very robust, but we had a few that actually overspent for compliance, auditing, state compliance. It's important for us to adjust our budgets to essentially move money from these departments and underspent to others. It amounts to about not quite $14,000. I do want to stress that we're not adding $14,000 to the budget. We actually underspent almost 70. We're just moving, we're doing inter-fund moves from one department to another. And this is just to bring those departments that went over into compliance. And so and you all have the report in front of you, it's available online, and may want to see it, but that's the purpose of this.
Okay. I need a motion to approve the resolution to amend the 2022 budget.
So moved.
Thank you, Bill. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Jim. Any discussions or questions from the council? All right.
Just to say, this is an annual housekeeping thing. We're required by the state of Georgia to have a balanced budget. And fortunately, after the budget's already in, we get to do the paperwork and make that possible.
That's unfortunately. Okay, great. All right. Any other comments or questions? All in favor of approving this resolution signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, can you say nay? The motion carries. Let's move on to item 9. Consider approval of quote from Caldwell Construction to replace 2 culverts on Sky Valley Way in the amount of $63,220. Again, Jason, just a salient summary.
Madam Mayor, Council, this is something that's been discussed the past few meetings, actually the last year or so. Phase 2 is per se of the Morley Bridge. One of the barrels is not even functioning. Received 2 quotes, 63,000 something from Caldwell, 88,000 from Precision. Caldwell has done some work for us. They do great work. We've got a good relationship with them as we do Precision. Obviously coming in lower, and they're ready, available, ready to go. The recommendation is that we go with them. We've done everything we can to get the word out. Detour signs, email blast. We've let public services now, police, fire, everybody know there's detours. They want to close the road. They're telling us they should be done by Friday. If they're not done by Friday, they will stabilize the road so it can be traveled this weekend. But the plan is to get this done quickly. It's important to get this done now before the summertime crowd gets here, or we have a failure out there, because that will probably happen if we don't prepare this.
Gotcha.
Madam Mayor, I would be honored to move that we approve this. This is a bottleneck for the water. We see that it floods before the other one floods.
Right.
It exacerbates anything downstream. And so between getting these 2 complementary culvert projects done is a huge investment in free access around Sky Valley, no matter what sort of weather conditions we're having.
I mean, we don't need any cars jumping right into it either, do we?
Right.
Like we had. Great. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Tony. Any discussions from the council? All right, all in favor of approving the quote from Caldwell Construction to replace this culvert, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, signify with nay. Motion carries. All right, consider approval of the Precision Paving Company to repave a portion of Evergreen Road in the amount of $56,968. Jason?
Madam Mayor, Council, as you all know, we paid the Evergreen portion of the project. That was a long outstanding project. But when we paid, we actually began the pavement where the existing pavement ends. Well, that pavement is old, disrepair, spidery, cracked up. What essentially this will do is, we will repave that section of Evergreen from where the new pavement begins, back up to LaBelle, near the rock. And then once that's done, we will stripe the road, so you will have the new road pretty much from LaBelle back down to Crusher Run and continue to provide that important secondary ingress egress into the city. Received 2 quotes. Caldwell provided a quote, theirs was much higher. The pretty much apples to apples comparison. When I asked Mr. Caldwell about the differences, he quoted distance to travel here, overhead, et cetera, et cetera. Precision pavement is just set up where they can work, do this kind of work cheaper or more cost effective. I don't want to say cheaper, but they do because they do great work. But the recommendation would be go with precision pavement.
And this will be funded by,
T-Splosh.
okay? All right, I need a motion to approve the Precision Paving Company bid to finish off Evergreen to LaBelle.
So moved.
Thank you, Bruce. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Tim. Any discussion? All right, all in favor of approving this quote to repave this portion of the road, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, signify with nay. Motion carries. All
Just
right.
got a quick comment. Now that Evergreen is open, there's a bad spot on Crusher Run, and I know there's a lot of people coming in and out, and it's right smack in the middle of the road. It's a big pothole. If you have any, excuse me, connections in Raven County.
We can reach out to Mr. Provance. I will say this, that we had some calls that where Evergreen connects to Crusher, there is a natural spring. The water reroutes through the ditch where it should go. The county has done some work there. It's very unsightly, but they are supposed to come back and address that. But that our road responsibility ends where Evergreen connects to Crusher. That is a clear road. So I just want to let people know we are aware. We've had conversations with them. And hopefully, obviously, the fact this road's open, it's putting more capacity on what they're doing, but hopefully they'll get that fixed soon.
We could talk, yeah. We could talk to the county
Yes, but yeah.
county manager and see if he'll go along with that since he was part of the
I think I
decision.
spotted a couple bullet holes in our sky.
That is something that we are addressing. Yeah, we're looking at some cameras and some things, but unfortunately,
It just makes it official that way.
Looked like a 22.
Yeah. And they're also in for the speed sign too. All right. Item 11, consider approval of Precision Paving Company to repave Walking Bear Road in the amount of $26,756. Jason, take it away.
Madam Mayor, that's the lowest of the 2 quotes we received. Call representative was higher. As Mr. Shelby, Public Works Manager, said earlier, this road was done years ago. It was really not doing very well. We do have homes on that road, and really by paving it, it will help with maintenance, snow plowing, all of those things. So this is one of our top priorities. The recommendation would be go with Precision Paving. T-Splosh will fund this.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve this project?
So move.
Thank you, Tim. A second?
Second.
Thank you, Bill. Any discussions? All right, all in favor of approving this quote from Precision Paving Company to repave Walking Bear Road, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries. Item 12, consider approval of the recommended quote to purchase the skid steer for Public Works. Now, we had this discussion, I thought during the workshop, and I thought we went with Kubota, is that correct?
Madam Mayor, just for the sake of transparency, the recommendation is to go with Kubota. During the short break we had, apparently somebody didn't tell somebody that it was being held, it's been sold. However, like we did with the water truck, y'all approved an amount up to, the water truck was approved for 68,000. We actually found what we needed for 56. So if the council felt comfortable approving up to a certain amount, that gives us the ability to take action, because we find this, like everything, the way things are now, you find something that gets sold. Another thing I want to add too is a lot of times we're getting these prices, we're getting state price. So if somebody comes along and they're just somebody off the street, a contractor, they're paying retail price. So a lot of times we have to move even quicker, because, for example, that water truck we got for $56,000, that was state price. If somebody had bought that truck off the street, it would have been about 63. So,
Well, Jason, what amount would you recommend that we put into?
the recommendation would be to go to the 64.5.
Okay.
And then, because there's other vendors out there, but it would just it gives us the opportunity to buy a skid steer without having to come back for us again, not to beat this to death, but we ran into this with the water truck. Because every time we find something, to get it before you all for approval, it got sold.
Right.
So,
All right.
so I just want to, it is one of those things, the way it is, but, we don't
And this also is funded through
teach
TSPA.
loss, correct?
Okay, so I need a motion to approve an amount to be spent up to $64,500 for a skid steer.
So moved.
Thank you, Bill. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Jim. Any comments besides, oh darn, 1 o'clock came fast, huh? Yeah.
Sheesh.
All right, all in favor of approving this, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries. All right, item 13, consider approval to a resolution to declassify city equipment as surplus for liquidation. Jason, if you'll talk about the 2 pieces of equipment.
Madam Mayor, there's 2 items, a 1997 John Deere backhoe, and then a 2004 John Deere Gator, which is a side-by-side. The 97, the city has owned for years. Neil Chastain has been here for, I think, 22 years, said that it was bought about that time, so it was used then. It's got, I think, like 6,000 hours on it. As Mr. Sheriff said, we probably could have bought it twice what we spent on repairs. It's really exhausted all life. It's become dangerous, and really the skid steer and the excavator we have basically will be able to replicate the uses that this would have. We would put it on gov deals, which is basically what a lot of cities and counties do to try to sell that to the highest bidder. And the same thing with this Gator. The city acquired this many years ago. It has the engine is blown. There's water in the engine, and it will crank, but as Mr. Schultz said, it probably would cost more to fix it than it's worth. However, if somebody has a Gator that maybe has a good engine but a bad body, there you go. So again, we put that on gov deals and try to get that the highest bid. And we would just sell those items and put them in put the money in the bank. And so
that goes into the general fund,
yes.
Jason, okay? All right, I need a motion to approve the resolution to surplus these 2 items.
So moved.
Thank you, Tim, second.
Second.
Thank you, Jim. Any discussion or questions? All right, all in favor of declassifying these 2 pieces of city equipment as surplus, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay. Motion carries. Item 14, consider approval of the Raven County Board of Elections contract to continue conducting the city's election. Real quick, Jason.
Well, as was said in the work session by Ms. Fleming, our city clerk, and Councilman Allred, the cost is going up, everything's going up. This is just a contract for the county to do our elections for us. They can do it, even though costs are going up, they can do it cheaper, more effective. It makes sense to do this. The recommendation would be for the county election to continue doing elections for us.
Okay. I need a motion to approve this contract. Thank you, Tony. Second, Bruce, any discussion? All right, all in favor of approving this contract, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries. All right, now we come to the public forum. Do we have anybody who wishes to ask questions or make comments from the big, large audience we have here? How about anybody from online?
Number.
Okay. I think it is so moved, yeah. Adjournment. I think we've completed the actions needed on this agenda. I need a motion for adjournment. Thank you, Bill. Second. Tim. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Or do we have any opposed? I just think not, and thank you all for coming to this council meeting, and thank you, Jason, and Ms. Van Camp and Ms. Fleming for all your hard work, and I guess you need to go tell Paula, give them the go sign.
They're,
They're on it.